On today's episode, why the Calorie Conundrum podcast is a champion for weight loss.
Welcome to the Calorie Conundrum podcast with Coach Strick. Join us as we expand the weight loss conversation to beyond just calories and dare to ask the question, why does eating less and exercising more sometimes not produce the desired results? Here's Coach Strick to discuss this Calorie Conundrum.
Hello and welcome to the Calorie Conundrum podcast. This is Coach Strick, and in this short episode today, I will be talking about why this podcast is a champion for weight loss. If you have listened to previous episodes of the Calorie Conundrum podcast, then you know I am not a big fan of the traditional calories in versus calories out model of weight loss. Not necessarily because I think calories don't count, but because oftentimes weight loss recommendations are overly simplified down to this mantra of calories in versus calories out, and leave out many important aspects that affect your weight as well as your health. Some of these issues are discussed on previous episodes, but today I want to bring some clarity to why I believe the Calorie Conundrum podcast is a true champion for weight loss. I know some people hear that I'm not a fan of the traditional calories in versus calories out recommendation and are quick to accuse people that believe or know this method doesn't work as using this belief as an excuse to explain away their laziness or lack of willpower. I would like to acknowledge this and state clearly that the Calorie Conundrum podcast doesn't recommend using this argument against the traditional calories in versus calories out philosophy as an excuse for people that aren't being honest with themselves. This podcast was not made to cover up laziness or to use as an excuse to distract from someone's lack of effort. This podcast was made for quite the opposite reason. It was created for people that have genuinely attempted to utilize the traditional methods of weight loss and have failed. Failed not because they were lazy, not because they are not willing to put in the effort, not because they forgot how to do simple addition and subtraction, but because the system they were using failed them. The people that were doing everything they were being told and did not get the results they were promised. Instead of blaming these people, telling them they don't know how to count, or even flat out calling them liars to their face, this podcast looks for answers to these calorie conundrums. The benefits to weight loss are numerous and include increased energy, increased self-confidence, increased freedom of movement, decreased pain, decreased health risk, and so much more. I believe everyone deserves these benefits and should have them if they are willing to have the level of effort and sacrifice needed to achieve these goals. I also believe everyone deserves these benefits even if the traditional calories in versus calories out recommendation doesn't work when they do everything right. This is why I believe the Calorie Conundrum podcast is a true champion of weight loss. If you have any questions or comments about this way of thinking, head over to Instagram @CalorieCon and send me a message. And with that said, this is Coach Strick saying thanks for listening, and remember, when calories in, calories out doesn't work, that, my friend, is a calorie conundrum.
This podcast, including Coach Strick and guests, disclaim responsibility for any possible adverse effects for the use of any information contained herein. Coach Strick and/or guests may recommend products or services in which they have a direct or indirect financial interest. To find out more, please visit www.calorieconundrum.com.